Imagine if I revealed to you that a force so powerful and transformative has been hidden from the masses for centuries, not out of fear it might cause harm, but because if everyday people discovered it, the entire structure of society would come crashing down. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Right now, as you're watching this, there's an invisible battle happening inside your mind. On one side, you have the conditioned beliefs that society has programmed into you since birth. The idea that you must see to believe, that wealth is reserved for the lucky few, that your current circumstances define your future. On the other side lies something far more powerful, the secret force of unwavering faith that can literally reshape reality itself. Has this ever happened to you? You've had a dream, a vision of the life you truly want, but then that inner voice whispers, "Be realistic. That's not possible for someone like you." What you don't realize is that this voice isn't protecting you. It's imprisoning you within the boundaries of physical perception that were installed in your mind before you could even walk. Here's what the ancient masters, the great inventors, and today's most successful entrepreneurs understood that most people never discover. Every single thing you see around you, the device you're watching this on, the building you're in, the entire civilization that surrounds us, was once nothing more than an idea in someone's mind. Someone who dared to believe in what they couldn't yet see. Think about this for a moment. The Wright brothers didn't have a manual for flight. Tesla didn't have a blueprint for electricity. Every fortune, every empire, every breakthrough in human history began as an invisible thought held with such complete conviction that it eventually materialized into physical existence. What you're about to discover might surprise you. This isn't mysticism or wishful thinking. This is the most practical, scientific approach to creating wealth and success that exists. The reason this knowledge has been kept hidden is simple. It gives too much power to the individual. When you understand that your thoughts, charged with absolute belief, become the architects of your reality, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become the creator of your destiny. You stop waiting for permission and start commanding your life. You stop accepting limitations and start transcending them. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what I'm about to share with you has been tested by military leaders during wartime, used by legendary entrepreneurs to build business empires, and applied by ordinary people who awaken to a principle that transforms the mind into a magnet for extraordinary results. But here's the critical part most people miss. This isn't about positive thinking or empty affirmations. This is about understanding the specific mechanics of how unwavering faith activates invisible forces that modify physical reality. It's about learning to program your subconscious mind with such precision that it becomes your most powerful ally in creating wealth rather than your greatest obstacle. The question isn't whether this works. The evidence surrounds you in every man-made creation you see. The question is whether you're ready to stop living within the confines of what others have told you is possible and start accessing the secret force that has been dormant within you all along. Because once you understand how ideas infused with complete conviction manifest into physical existence, your entire relationship with money, success, and what's possible for your life will never be the same. If you're ready to dive deeper into these consciousness-based wealth principles and want access to advanced techniques I don't share anywhere else, subscribing to this channel ensures you'll be notified every time I release new content that can accelerate your financial transformation journey. The journey into this hidden truth begins with understanding something that will fundamentally shift your entire approach to creating wealth. Deep within your mind operates a mechanism so sophisticated, so responsive, that it makes the most advanced artificial intelligence look primitive by comparison. This is your subconscious mind, and here's what makes it extraordinary. It cannot distinguish between what you've actually experienced and what you've vividly imagined with complete emotional intensity. Think about the profound implications of this revelation. When you watch a terrifying movie, your heart races, your palms sweat, your body responds as if the danger were real. Your subconscious doesn't pause to analyze whether the threat is genuine. It simply reacts to the vivid imagery and emotional charge you're feeding it. This same mechanism that can create fear from fiction can create wealth from focused imagination. Every single day, without your conscious awareness, your subconscious mind is working behind the scenes, making countless micro-decisions that shape your reality. It's influencing which opportunities you notice, which risks you're willing to take, which people you connect with, and most importantly, which actions feel natural versus impossible to you. The transformation happens when you realize you can deliberately program this incredible ally instead of leaving it to operate on outdated, limiting instructions. Here's where most people unknowingly sabotage their own financial destiny. They carry around deeply embedded beliefs about money that were installed during childhood, often before they could even spell the word wealth. Perhaps they heard their parents arguing about bills, witnessed financial stress, or absorbed the message that money doesn't grow on trees, or rich people are greedy. These early impressions become the operating system of their subconscious mind, creating an invisible ceiling on their financial potential. The hidden truth that changes everything is this: your current financial circumstances aren't a reflection of your intelligence, your education, or even your work ethic. They're a direct mirror of the beliefs your subconscious mind holds about what you deserve and what's possible for someone like you. When your deeper mind believes that money is scarce, difficult to obtain, or somehow wrong for you to desire, it will unconsciously guide you toward decisions that confirm these limitations. But here's the remarkable part. This same system that might be constraining you can become your greatest asset for building wealth. When you understand how to communicate with your subconscious mind in its native language of emotion and imagery, you can literally reprogram your financial destiny. Instead of fighting against invisible barriers, you begin operating with the full power of your mind, working toward abundance. The process isn't about forcing yourself to think positive thoughts while secretly doubting their validity. That approach actually creates internal conflict and weakens your manifestation power. True transformation occurs when you feed your subconscious mind such compelling, emotionally charged visions of prosperity that it begins to accept this new reality as inevitable. Your subconscious mind is like an incredibly loyal servant that never questions your commands. It simply executes whatever instructions you give it through your dominant thoughts and feelings. If you consistently focus on lack, struggle, and limitation, it faithfully creates more experiences that match these expectations. But when you shift your internal focus to abundance, opportunity, and unlimited potential, this same faithful servant begins orchestrating circumstances that align with your new vision. The most successful people throughout history understood this principle intuitively. They didn't just hope for wealth, they mentally lived in it so completely that their subconscious mind had no choice but to find ways to make their internal reality match their external circumstances. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic and reveal the specific techniques that allow you to harness this power with surgical precision. Write in the comments, "My mind is ready for abundance," if this revelation is resonating with your journey toward financial transformation. The mechanics of this transformation process operate on a level that most people never fully grasp. Yet it's happening within your mind every single moment of every day. Your subconscious mind is constantly processing millions of bits of information, filtering your reality through the lens of whatever beliefs and images you've programmed into it. When you begin feeding it consistently powerful, emotionally charged visions of prosperity, something remarkable starts to unfold. Behind the scenes of your conscious awareness, your brain literally cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an actual memory when both are infused with sufficient emotional intensity. This isn't theoretical speculation. It's been demonstrated through countless neurological studies showing how visualization activates the same neural pathways as real experiences. When athletes mentally rehearse their performances, their muscles actually respond as if they were physically practicing. The same principle applies to wealth creation. When you repeatedly visualize yourself living in abundance, your mind begins to wire itself for prosperous thinking and behavior. This neural rewiring creates a cascade of changes that extend far beyond your internal world. Your posture shifts subtly, conveying more confidence. Your language patterns evolve, reflecting increased certainty and possibility-focused thinking. Your decision-making process transforms as you naturally gravitate toward choices that someone wealthy would make. Most importantly, you begin to notice opportunities that were always present but previously invisible to your scarcity-conditioned awareness. The people you attract into your life also begin to shift in response to your altered energy and behavior patterns. Like tuning forks resonating at the same frequency, you start drawing individuals who operate at higher levels of thinking and achievement. Conversations become more strategic, collaborations more profitable, and relationships more aligned with your elevated vision of what's possible. This isn't coincidence or wishful thinking. It's the natural result of your transformed internal state, expressing itself through your external interactions. Establishing a daily practice around this principle becomes the foundation upon which your entire financial transformation rests. The ritual itself is deceptively simple, yet profoundly powerful when executed with genuine commitment and emotional investment. The key lies not in the duration of your practice, but in the depth of your engagement with the vision you're creating. If this exploration of forbidden knowledge sparked something within you, and you can feel these principles resonating with your deeper understanding of how reality actually works, a like on this video helps ensure this message reaches others who are ready for this level of consciousness-based wealth creation. When you close your eyes and step into your ideal existence, you're not merely daydreaming, you're conducting precision mental engineering. Feel the texture of the environment surrounding your success. Notice the quality of conversations you're having with the remarkable people who now populate your circle. Sense the calm confidence that flows through you as you review abundant financial statements that reflect your new reality. Pay attention to how your day begins, when money is no longer a source of stress, but a tool for creating positive impact. The transformative power emerges from the consistency and emotional authenticity you bring to this daily practice. Each session strengthens the neural pathways associated with abundance thinking, while simultaneously weakening the old patterns rooted in limitation and scarcity. Your subconscious mind begins to accept this new reality as the truth about who you are and what you deserve, automatically guiding your actions and decisions towards circumstances that match this elevated self-concept. What many people discover through this journey is that the external changes in their financial situation often seem to happen almost effortlessly, as if the universe itself is conspiring to support their new vision. Opportunities appear seemingly out of nowhere, important connections develop through unexpected channels, and solutions to long-standing challenges suddenly become obvious. This isn't magic. It's the predictable result of aligning your internal world with your desired outcomes through deliberate, emotionally engaged mental rehearsal. Now let me share with you the hidden timing secrets that can dramatically amplify the effectiveness of this visualization practice and explain why certain moments of the day provide direct access to your subconscious programming system. Write in the comments, "I practice this daily," if you're ready to commit to this powerful transformation process. The difference between amateur visualization and master-level manifestation lies in a subtle but crucial shift in perspective that completely transforms the energetic signature of your mental practice. Instead of approaching your prosperity visions as hopeful fantasies about what might happen someday, you must learn to engage with them as vivid memories of experiences you've already lived. This isn't about pretending or self-deception. It's about accessing the same neural and emotional patterns your brain uses when recalling actual events from your past. When you remember a powerful moment from your life, notice how your body responds. The emotions feel immediate and authentic because your nervous system is re-experiencing the event rather than imagining it. Your breathing changes, your posture shifts, and your entire being resonates with the reality of that memory. This is precisely the state you want to cultivate when visualizing your abundant future. The conviction and emotional authenticity of someone who is remembering their wealth rather than hoping for it. The transformation happens when you realize that attraction operates through vibrational resonance rather than logical reasoning. You cannot think your way into abundance using analytical processes alone. Your intellectual mind might understand financial principles, business strategies, and investment concepts, but these rational frameworks are powerless to shift your energetic frequency toward prosperity. What magnetizes wealth into your experience is the consistent emission of emotions and mental states that match the vibration of abundance itself. This revelation exposes why traditional goal-setting and positive thinking approaches often fall short of creating lasting financial transformation. They engage the wrong part of your consciousness, the analytical mind that seeks to control outcomes through force and strategy. True manifestation bypasses this mental machinery entirely, operating instead through the deeper currents of feeling and knowing that emanate from your core. Being when you're aligned with your authentic power. Behind the scenes of human civilization, there has always been an awareness among certain circles that this knowledge represents something far more significant than a simple self-improvement technique. Those who understood these principles recognized that widespread access to this wisdom would fundamentally destabilize existing power structures built upon the premise that most people must remain dependent, limited, and controlled by external circumstances. The concealed risk of this understanding isn't that it might harm individuals who apply it, quite the opposite. The danger lies in what happens when human beings discover they possess the innate ability to transcend any limitation imposed upon them by society, economics, or conventional thinking. When someone truly grasps that their consciousness is the primary creative force in their reality, they stop seeking permission from external authorities and begin operating from a place of complete personal sovereignty. This shift in individual consciousness creates a ripple effect that extends far beyond personal financial success. It challenges fundamental assumptions about hierarchy, scarcity, and the supposed necessity of struggle that underpin many social and economic systems. A population of people who understand their creative power cannot be easily manipulated through fear, controlled through artificial scarcity, or kept dependent through limited thinking. The implications become even more profound when you consider what would happen if this knowledge became widespread rather than remaining hidden among a select few. Entire industries built upon human limitation would become obsolete. Political systems based on creating and solving problems would lose their relevance. Economic models predicated on scarcity and competition would transform into abundance-based paradigms focused on collaboration and collective prosperity. This is why throughout history, access to these principles has been carefully guarded, often disguised within esoteric teachings, mystery schools, or exclusive circles that required initiation to join. The guardians of this wisdom understood that while it could elevate individuals to extraordinary levels of achievement and fulfillment, widespread implementation would catalyze a complete restructuring of human civilization. Now, let me reveal the specific techniques that allow you to harness this power responsibly while protecting yourself from the resistance that often emerges when you begin to operate outside conventional limitations. Write in the comments, "I'm ready for true freedom," if you understand the profound responsibility that comes with accessing this hidden knowledge. The moment you understand that your internal dialogue operates as a continuous programming session for your subconscious mind, everything about your relationship with wealth begins to shift dramatically. Most people walk through their days completely unaware that they're constantly issuing commands to the most powerful goal-achieving mechanism they possess. Every repetitive thought pattern, every habitual phrase you speak to yourself, every emotional reaction you consistently experience is literally writing the code that determines your financial destiny. Your subconscious mind functions with the absolute loyalty of the most dedicated servant, never questioning the validity or wisdom of the instructions you provide. It doesn't pause to consider whether your repeated thoughts about money being difficult to earn are actually true or helpful. It simply accepts these patterns as direct orders and begins orchestrating circumstances that confirm and reinforce whatever you've been consistently programming into it through your mental repetition. This revelation transforms your understanding of why some people seem to effortlessly attract opportunities, while others struggle despite their best efforts. The difference isn't talent, education, or luck. It's the quality and consistency of the mental programming they've been unconsciously installing through their dominant thought patterns. Those who experience financial flow have trained their subconscious minds to expect abundance, recognize opportunities, and take actions aligned with prosperity consciousness. For those who recognize that true abundance starts with mastering your inner world, hitting that subscribe button connects you to a community of like-minded individuals who are applying these hidden principles to create extraordinary results in their lives. The breakthrough comes when you realize that you can deliberately choose what thoughts receive the power of repetition in your mental environment. Instead of allowing random worries, inherited limiting beliefs, or cultural conditioning to program your subconscious by default, you can consciously select empowering thoughts and feed them with the emotional intensity required to overwrite old patterns and install new operating instructions. This process operates through what could be called vibrational linguistics, the understanding that words carry energetic frequencies that penetrate far deeper than their surface meaning. When you speak certain phrases with genuine conviction and emotional resonance, you're not just communicating information to your conscious mind, you're transmitting specific vibrational codes that reprogram the fundamental software running your life behind the scenes. These vibrational codes function like keys that unlock different chambers of possibility within your consciousness. A phrase like "wealth flows to me naturally and effortlessly" carries a completely different energetic signature than "I'll never have enough money." The subconscious mind responds to these distinct frequencies by activating corresponding behavioral programs, emotional states, and perceptual filters that either support or sabotage your financial goals. The transformation process accelerates when you understand that consistency matters more than intensity in this type of mental programming. A moderately powerful affirmation repeated daily with genuine feeling will restructure your subconscious patterns more effectively than an emotionally charged declaration spoken once and then forgotten. Your deeper mind learns through repetition and emotional association, gradually accepting new vibrational codes as truth when they're consistently reinforced. Over time, What makes this approach so effective is that it bypasses the critical, analytical functions of your conscious mind that often resist change through doubt and skepticism. By working directly with the subconscious through repetitive vibrational programming, you can install new beliefs and behavioral patterns before your logical mind has a chance to interfere with objections about why your desired outcomes might not be possible. The most successful practitioners of this technique understand that their words must align with their emotions for maximum impact. Speaking prosperity affirmations while feeling anxious about money creates internal conflict that weakens the programming process. True transformation occurs when your vibrational codes are supported by corresponding emotional states that reinforce the new reality you're seeking to create. Now, let me share the precise timing strategies and emotional amplification techniques that can multiply the effectiveness of your mental programming sessions and explain why certain states of consciousness provide direct access to your subconscious reprogramming capabilities. Write in the comments, "My words create my reality," if you're beginning to recognize the power you've been unconsciously using and are ready to direct it deliberately toward abundance. The crucial revelation that separates those who successfully reprogram their financial reality from those who remain stuck despite their best efforts lies in understanding the supreme importance of emotional authenticity in this transformation process. Your subconscious mind operates as an incredibly sophisticated emotion detection system that responds primarily to what you feel rather than what you say. This creates a fascinating paradox where someone who speaks wealth affirmations while harboring deep feelings of unworthiness will actually reinforce their financial limitations rather than transcending them. Think of your emotions as the carrier frequency that determines whether your mental programming reaches its intended destination. When you declare, "I am abundant," while experiencing genuine feelings of gratitude, excitement, and deserving, that positive emotional charge carries your affirmation deep into your subconscious, where it can take root and grow. However, when the same words are spoken while you're feeling anxious, doubtful, or disconnected from their meaning, the underlying emotional frequency sabotages the entire programming process. This emotional authenticity requirement explains why many people become frustrated with affirmation practices that seem to produce no tangible results. They've been focusing on getting the words right, while completely ignoring the feeling states that actually drive the transformation. Your subconscious mind essentially reads your emotional signature as the true message, treating your spoken words as secondary information that may or may not align with your deeper broadcast. The breakthrough comes when you learn to cultivate genuine emotional resonance with your desired reality before attempting to program it through repetitive statements. This might involve spending time vividly imagining how financial freedom would actually feel in your body, recalling moments when you felt truly abundant in any area of your life, or connecting with the deeper motivations behind your wealth goals that naturally generate positive emotions. Understanding the critical timing windows for this mental programming process can dramatically accelerate your results by taking advantage of natural states when your subconscious mind becomes most receptive to new information. Your conscious mind functions as a protective gatekeeper throughout most of your waking hours, analyzing and filtering incoming thoughts based on your existing belief systems. However, during specific transitional states, this mental guard drops significantly, creating direct access to your deeper programming layers. The evening hours just before sleep represent one of the most powerful opportunities for subconscious reprogramming, because your analytical mind naturally begins to disengage as you transition toward unconsciousness. During these precious minutes, your critical thinking faculties relax their grip, allowing new thoughts and images to bypass normal resistance and settle directly into your deeper awareness. This is why bedtime programming sessions often produce remarkable results when practiced consistently with emotional engagement. Make sure to ring that notification bell so you never miss when I release new insights into the hidden laws that govern manifestation, because the principles I share often build upon each other, and staying connected ensures you receive each piece of this transformational puzzle as soon as it becomes available. The morning moments immediately upon waking offer another golden window for mental programming, but for different reasons. Your subconscious mind emerges from sleep in a highly impressionable state before your conscious thoughts begin racing and your daily concerns reassert their dominance. By immediately feeding your mind empowering thoughts and abundant imagery upon awakening, you essentially set the vibrational tone for your entire day before external influences can interfere with your frequency. These timing strategies become even more powerful when you understand that you're not just programming individual thoughts, but actually protecting and nurturing your overall vibrational state. The modern world constantly bombards your consciousness with messages of limitation, scarcity, and fear through news media, social interactions, and cultural conditioning. Without deliberate intervention, these external influences gradually erode your abundance programming and pull your energy back toward limitation patterns. The journey toward financial transformation requires recognizing that you're engaged in an ongoing vibrational battle where your consistent internal programming must be strong enough to override the collective programming of lack consciousness that surrounds you. This isn't about becoming isolated or avoiding reality. It's about developing such powerful internal momentum toward abundance that external negativity cannot derail your progress. Now, let me reveal the specific emotional cultivation techniques that allow you to generate authentic feelings of abundance even before your external circumstances reflect your new internal reality, and explain why this emotional preparation is absolutely essential for sustainable wealth creation. Write in the comments, "I feel my abundance growing," if you're ready to master the emotional dimension of this transformation process. The reality that most people never fully grasp is that every moment you're not consciously directing your mental programming, countless external forces are doing it for you with their own agendas. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's simply the natural result of living in a world where information flows constantly toward your consciousness from every direction. News outlets program you with stories of economic uncertainty and limitation. Social media feeds you curated glimpses of other people's highlight reels that can trigger comparison and inadequacy. Even well-meaning friends and family members unconsciously download their own financial fears and limitations into your mental space through casual conversations about money struggles and economic challenges. The transformation happens when you realize that your mind is like fertile soil that will grow whatever seeds are planted in it most consistently and with the greatest emotional intensity. If you're passively absorbing messages of scarcity, struggle, and limitation throughout your day, without consciously counteracting them with abundance programming, you're essentially allowing others to write the script for your financial destiny. This passive approach to mental management guarantees that your subconscious will be programmed with the collective consciousness of lack rather than the individual consciousness of prosperity. Taking strategic control of your mental environment becomes an act of rebellion against the default programming that society attempts to install in everyone. This doesn't require becoming paranoid or isolated from the world. It simply means developing the awareness to recognize when limiting thoughts are being suggested to you and having ready responses that redirect your consciousness back toward abundance patterns. When someone complains about how difficult money is to earn, you can silently affirm that wealth flows easily to you. When news reports focus on economic problems, you can choose to see opportunities emerging from change and disruption. Behind the scenes of this mental protection process lies an even more profound understanding about the creative power of human imagination. Your ability to form mental images isn't just a random neurological function. It's actually the invisible molding mechanism through which your future reality takes shape. Every thought form you create with sufficient emotional energy and consistent repetition begins to exert a magnetic pull on circumstances, people, and opportunities that match its vibrational frequency. This principle operates whether you're conscious of it or not, which explains why many people seem to repeatedly manifest the same types of financial challenges throughout their lives. They've unknowingly been using their imagination to rehearse scenarios of struggle, visualizing worst-case outcomes, and emotionally charging images of lack until these mental patterns become the dominant molds shaping their experience. The power that could be creating abundance instead becomes trapped in cycles of limitation because it's being directed unconsciously rather than strategically. The breakthrough insight is that you can deliberately choose what you allow your imagination to dwell upon and emotionally energize. Instead of letting your mind randomly wander through fears and worries about money, you can consciously direct it toward detailed, emotionally rich visions of the prosperous life you want to create. This isn't escapism or denial of current challenges. It's the practical application of mental laws that govern how thoughts become things through the bridge of focused imagination. The molding process requires understanding that your imagination works most effectively when it engages all your senses and emotions rather than just visual imagery alone. When you imagine your abundant future, include the sounds of success conversations, the feeling of confidence in your body, the taste of celebration, and the scent of new opportunities. The richer and more multidimensional your mental rehearsals become, the more powerfully they program your subconscious mind to recognize and attract corresponding experiences in your physical reality. Consistency becomes the determining factor that separates casual daydreaming from powerful reality shaping through imagination. Spending a few minutes occasionally visualizing wealth won't override years of accumulated limitation programming. However, dedicating focused time daily to emotionally charged abundance visualization gradually overwrites old patterns and installs new operating instructions that guide your subconscious mind toward prosperity-creating actions and decisions. Now let me share the advanced techniques for accelerating this imagination-based programming process and reveal why understanding the science behind thought form creation can help you manifest financial results with unprecedented speed and precision. Write in the comments, "I choose my mental programming," if you're ready to take full responsibility for what thoughts and images you allow to shape your financial future. The hidden tragedy of most people's financial struggles isn't that they lack intelligence, work ethic, or even opportunities. It's that they've unconsciously trained their imagination to become a poverty creation machine. Without realizing it, they spend countless hours each day mentally rehearsing scenarios of lack, limitation, and financial stress. They vividly imagine opening bills they can't pay, visualize their bank account hitting zero, and emotionally charge images of rejection, failure, and economic hardship, until these mental patterns become the dominant programming running their financial reality. This unconscious visualization process operates with the same creative power that successful people use to manifest abundance, but it's pointed in the opposite direction. When someone constantly imagines struggle, their subconscious mind interprets these repeated mental images as instructions for what kind of experiences to create and attract. The same mechanism that could be generating wealth instead becomes trapped in cycles of manifesting exactly what they fear most, simply because that's what receives the majority of their emotional energy and mental focus. The transformation begins when you understand that every moment you spend worrying about money, you're actually conducting a powerful visualization session that programs your subconscious to expect and create more financial problems. Each time you imagine worst-case scenarios about your economic future, you're sending detailed instructions to the most sophisticated goal-achieving system in the known universe, your own mind, telling it to organize circumstances that match those limiting expectations. Behind the scenes of this process lies a profound scientific understanding that bridges ancient wisdom with modern quantum physics and neuroscience. When you close your eyes and generate detailed mental images of prosperity, you're not engaging in wishful thinking or fantasy. You're activating specific neural networks that begin to reshape your brain's structure and function. These visualization sessions literally rewire your neural pathways, creating new connections that support abundance-minded thinking and behavior while weakening the old circuits associated with limitation consciousness. The scientific basis extends even deeper into the realm of what some call quantum field theory, where consciousness itself is understood as a fundamental creative force that influences physical reality through focused intention and emotional energy. From this perspective, your repeated mental images function as vibrational transmissions that interact with the underlying field of infinite possibilities, collapsing potential futures into actual experiences based on whatever patterns you consistently energize through your imagination. This isn't mystical speculation. It's an understanding that's emerging from cutting-edge research in neuroscience, psychology, and quantum mechanics. Scientists are discovering that consciousness plays a far more active role in shaping reality than previously believed, and that focused mental states can influence everything from healing processes to the manifestation of external circumstances through mechanisms that we're only beginning to comprehend. The practical application of this scientific understanding transforms visualization from a hopeful practice into a precision technology for reality creation. When you engage in prosperity visualization with full awareness that you're literally programming your subconscious mind and sending instructions to the organizing intelligence of the universe, your entire approach becomes more intentional, more focused, and dramatically more effective. Your mental images begin to function as detailed blueprints that your subconscious mind uses to guide your daily decisions, filter your perceptions, and attract the people and opportunities necessary to manifest your visualized outcomes. The universe, or the quantum field, or whatever term you prefer for the organizing principle of reality, responds to these clear mental instructions by rearranging circumstances in ways that often seem miraculous, but are actually the natural result of aligning your consciousness with specific outcomes. The journey toward financial transformation accelerates exponentially when you recognize that you're not just hoping for better circumstances. You're actually participating in the fundamental creative process through which thoughts become things, dreams become plans, and mental images become lived experiences through the precise application of consciousness-based manifestation principles. Now let me reveal the specific mental frameworks that allow you to construct visualization sessions with scientific precision and explain why understanding the exact mechanics of how imagination influences reality can help you avoid the common mistakes that sabotage most people's manifestation efforts. Write in the comments, visualize my success scientifically if you're ready to approach this process with the seriousness and precision it deserves. The precision required for effective manifestation demands that you abandon vague, generalized desires and instead construct detailed, specific mental scenarios that your subconscious mind can use as exact blueprints for creation. Most people sabotage their visualization practice by focusing on abstract concepts like being wealthy or having success without providing Their deeper mind with the concrete details necessary to transform these fuzzy intentions into tangible experiences. Your subconscious operates like an incredibly sophisticated goal-seeking mechanism, but it requires clear, specific targets to aim toward rather than nebulous wishes that lack definition and substance. The transformation accelerates dramatically when you learn to craft visualization scenes with cinematic precision, engaging every sensory detail that would be present in your actual experience of abundance. Instead of simply imagining having money, you might visualize yourself walking into your beautifully appointed home office overlooking the ocean, feeling the cool morning breeze through the windows as you review financial statements showing consistent six-figure monthly revenue streams. You hear the gentle sound of waves in the background while experiencing the deep satisfaction of knowing your business operates smoothly even when you're not actively managing every detail. This level of specificity serves multiple crucial functions in the manifestation process. First, it provides your subconscious mind with detailed instructions about exactly what you want to create, eliminating confusion and mixed signals that often result from vague goal setting. Second, it allows you to emotionally connect with your desired outcome in ways that abstract concepts simply cannot achieve, generating the authentic feelings of success that magnetize corresponding experiences into your reality. The journey toward mastery requires understanding that detailed visualization scenarios must be supported by an even more fundamental force, the unwavering belief that transforms mere thoughts into reality-shaping instructions. Your mind generates millions of thoughts daily, yet only a tiny fraction of these mental activities possess enough conviction and emotional charge to influence your actual experience. The difference between casual thoughts and manifestation-grade mental programming lies in the depth of belief that accompanies and energizes your visualizations. Belief functions as the activating switch that transforms passive mental imagery into dynamic creative force. Without genuine conviction behind your prosperity visualizations, they remain pleasant fantasies that entertain your conscious mind without reaching the deeper programming levels where real transformation occurs. However, when your mental images are infused with absolute certainty about their inevitable manifestation, they begin to exert gravitational pull on circumstances, opportunities, and resources that align with your visualized outcomes. This principle explains why some people can visualize abundance for years without experiencing significant financial improvement, while others manifest dramatic results relatively quickly. The difference isn't in the quality of their visualization technique or the amount of time they spend in mental rehearsal. It's in the level of authentic belief they bring to the process. Those who achieve rapid transformation have learned to generate genuine conviction about their visualized futures, while those who struggle remain trapped in hoping rather than knowing. The challenge most people face in developing this level of belief lies in the apparent contradiction between their current circumstances and their desired outcomes. It can feel dishonest or delusional to maintain unwavering faith in financial abundance while facing immediate economic pressures or past patterns of struggle. This is where understanding the difference between belief and evidence becomes crucial for sustained manifestation practice. True belief in this context doesn't require ignoring present challenges or pretending current limitations don't exist. Instead, it involves developing such powerful inner conviction about your ability to create change that external circumstances lose their power to dictate your mental and emotional state. You learn to hold your vision with unshakable faith, regardless of what temporary conditions might be present in your immediate environment. The cultivation of this level of belief requires consistent mental training that gradually builds your confidence in the manifestation process itself. Each time you maintain your abundance visualization, despite contradictory evidence, you strengthen your ability to operate from faith rather than fear. Each moment you choose conviction over doubt. You deepen the neural pathways associated with prosperity consciousness and weaken the old patterns rooted in limitation thinking. Now, let me share the specific belief-building exercises that can help you develop unshakable confidence in your manifestation abilities and explain why understanding the relationship between faith and physical reality is essential for accelerating your wealth creation timeline. Write in the comments, "I believe in my abundant future," if you're ready to develop the unwavering conviction that transforms visualization into manifestation. The fundamental mathematics underlying all manifestation operates through a deceptively simple equation that governs every transformation from the invisible realm of possibility into the tangible world of experience. Thought plus belief equals creative power. This isn't philosophical speculation, but rather the precise formula that determines whether your mental activities remain trapped in the realm of wishful thinking or breakthrough into reality-shaping force. Understanding this equation provides the missing piece that explains why some people effortlessly manifest their desires while others struggle despite years of visualization practice and positive thinking. When you examine this creative mathematics more deeply, you discover that thought alone possesses tremendous potential energy, but lacks the activation mechanism necessary to influence physical reality. Your mind generates countless thoughts throughout each day, yet the vast majority of these mental activities dissipate without creating any meaningful impact on your circumstances. They function like seeds scattered on rocky ground, full of potential but unable to take root and grow because they lack the proper conditions for germination and development. Belief provides the fertile soil that allows your thoughts to transform from mere mental activity into living, growing forces that reshape your experience from the inside out. When a thought becomes infused with genuine conviction, it begins drawing energy from your subconscious mind and attracting resources from your environment that support its manifestation. The combination creates a magnetic field around your consciousness that pulls people, opportunities, and circumstances into alignment with whatever you hold with unwavering faith. This mathematical precision reveals why half-hearted attempts at manifestation consistently fail to produce meaningful results. Weak belief creates weak manifestation power, regardless of how much time you spend in visualization or how clearly you can picture your desired outcomes. Conversely, even relatively simple thoughts, supported by absolute conviction, can generate extraordinary transformations that seem to defy logical explanation, but actually represent the natural result of aligning with this fundamental creative equation. The journey toward mastery requires developing what could be called prophetic courage, the willingness to maintain unwavering faith in outcomes that haven't yet materialized in your physical experience. This represents a complete reversal of how most people approach reality creation, as they've been conditioned to require evidence before committing their belief to any particular possibility. They wait to see bank account increases before believing in their ability to create wealth, demand proof of success before investing faith in their potential, and insist on external validation before trusting their own creative power. This evidence-dependent approach to belief fundamentally misunderstands the sequence through which invisible possibilities become visible realities. The wise throughout history have recognized that belief must precede manifestation rather than follow it, because belief itself serves as the creative force that organizes random potentialities into specific experiences. When you believe deeply enough in something that hasn't yet occurred, you begin emanating the vibrational frequency that calls that experience into existence through the mysterious process of consciousness-based creation. The transformation happens when you realize that waiting for circumstances to change before believing in your ability to create abundance actually prevents those circumstances from changing. Your current financial situation reflects your past beliefs and thought patterns rather than determining your future possibilities. By maintaining faith in outcomes that transcend your present limitations, you establish the energetic conditions necessary for breakthrough experiences that seemed impossible from your previous level of consciousness. This prophetic courage requires developing comfort with the unknown and embracing uncertainty as the natural environment where all creation occurs. Every major advancement in human civilization emerged from someone's willingness to believe in possibilities that had never been proven, to act on faith rather than evidence, and to maintain conviction despite skepticism from others who couldn't yet perceive the potential that was seeking to emerge through focused belief and sustained action. The practical application of this understanding transforms your entire approach to wealth creation from a strategy-based endeavor into a consciousness-based practice where your internal state of conviction becomes the primary determining factor in your external results. Now, let me reveal the specific techniques for developing unshakable faith in your financial transformation and explain why understanding the relationship between time and manifestation can help you accelerate results while maintaining the patience necessary for sustainable abundance creation. Write in the comments, "I believe before I see," if you're ready to embrace this powerful reversal of conventional thinking about evidence and faith. The revelation that completely transforms your relationship with wealth creation lies in recognizing that your imagination isn't simply a random neurological function or entertainment system for your mind. It's actually a sacred workshop where all material creation begins its journey from the invisible realm of possibility into the tangible world of experience. Every single thing you can observe in your environment, from the device you're using to watch this to the most magnificent architectural achievements throughout history, existed first as a mental image in someone's imagination before it could ever manifest in physical form. This dual creation process represents one of the most profound secrets hidden in plain sight throughout human civilization. The chair you're sitting on was imagined by a designer who could see its form, function, and beauty long before any materials were gathered or tools were picked up. The wealth accumulating in the accounts of successful entrepreneurs originated as detailed mental pictures of the businesses, systems, and value creation that would eventually generate those financial results. Understanding this sequence empowers you to approach imagination not as escapism, but as the fundamental technology through which dreams become plans, visions become strategies, and possibilities become realities. Your imagination functions as a direct interface with what could be called the creative intelligence of the universe, the organizing principle that transforms mental energy into material form through mechanisms that operate beyond the boundaries of conventional understanding. When you engage your imagination with conscious intention rather than allowing it to wander randomly through fears and limitations, you essentially become a co-creator with the forces that shape reality itself. The transformation accelerates when you realize that your imagination possesses infinite creative potential, but requires specific fuel to convert possibility into manifestation. This fuel consists of two primary components that work together to program your subconscious mind with new operating instructions that override old patterns of limitation and install new patterns of abundance creation. The first component is repetition, the consistent return to the same empowering mental images until they become more familiar to your subconscious than your current circumstances. Your deeper mind learns through rhythm and consistency rather than through single powerful experiences. While an intensely emotional visualization session can certainly create temporary shifts in your consciousness, lasting transformation requires the patient cultivation of new mental patterns through daily practice that gradually overwrites decades of accumulated limitation programming. Each time you return to your abundance visualizations, you strengthen the neural pathways associated with prosperity consciousness, while simultaneously weakening the old circuits connected to scarcity thinking. The second essential component is emotional intensity, the passionate engagement with your mental images that signals to your subconscious mind that these visions deserve priority treatment in its reality creation processes. Without genuine emotional charge, your visualizations remain intellectual exercises that entertain your conscious mind without reaching the deeper programming levels where real change occurs. However, when you infuse your imagination with authentic excitement, gratitude, and conviction, you activate the same creative mechanisms that originally installed your current beliefs about money and success. Behind the scenes of this programming process, your subconscious mind operates like an incredibly sophisticated goal-seeking system that cannot distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and actual memories when both are charged with sufficient emotional energy. This creates a fascinating opportunity where you can literally program yourself for success by repeatedly experiencing your abundant future through imagination until your deeper mind accepts these mental rehearsals as confirmed realities that must be maintained and expanded through your daily decisions and actions. The breakthrough moment occurs when your subconscious finally crosses the threshold from questioning your abundant visions to believing them completely. Once this internal shift happens, your mind begins working automatically to align your behavior, perception, and circumstances with your new self-concept as someone who naturally attracts and creates wealth. You start noticing opportunities that were always present but previously invisible, making decisions that reflect abundance consciousness rather than scarcity thinking, and attracting people and resources that support your elevated vision of what's possible. Now let me share the advanced techniques for accelerating this subconscious programming process and reveal why understanding the specific mechanics of how repetition and intensity create belief can help you achieve breakthrough results in a fraction of the time most people require for similar transformations. Write in the comments, "My imagination creates my reality," if you're ready to treat your visualization practice with the reverence and consistency it deserves. The breakthrough understanding that separates those who successfully manifest abundance from those who remain trapped in limitation lies in recognizing that faith operates as a precise scientific instrument rather than vague spiritual comfort. Most people misunderstand faith as blind hope or wishful thinking, but when properly comprehended, faith reveals itself as an invisible construction tool, a directed mental force that functions with the same reliability and predictability as any physical technology when applied correctly. This scientific approach to faith transforms it from something you either possess or lack into something you can deliberately develop and strengthen through specific practices and mental disciplines. Faith operates as a frequency generator within your consciousness, broadcasting specific vibrational signatures that attract corresponding experiences and opportunities into your reality. When your faith frequency is tuned to abundance, prosperity, and unlimited possibility, you begin resonating with circumstances that match these elevated expectations. The journey toward developing unshakable faith requires understanding that this mental force doesn't spontaneously emerge through hoping or wishing. It must be systematically cultivated through the same kind of disciplined practice that builds physical strength or develops artistic skills. Your faith operates like a muscle that grows stronger each time you exercise it against resistance, doubt, or contradictory evidence. Every moment you choose to maintain confidence in your abundant future despite temporary challenges, you're essentially performing repetitions that increase your capacity for unwavering conviction. This training process works through the fundamental principle that your brain creates stronger neural pathways for whatever thoughts and emotions you consistently reinforce. Through repetition and intensity, each time you speak abundance affirmations with genuine emotional force, you're literally paving new mental highways that make prosperity consciousness more natural and automatic. These neural pathways gradually become the dominant routes through which your thoughts travel, eventually making abundance thinking as effortless as limitation thinking once was. The transformation accelerates when you realize that faith development follows predictable patterns that can be optimized through understanding how your mind processes and integrates new beliefs. Your subconscious mind accepts repeated ideas as truth when they're delivered with sufficient emotional conviction and consistency over time. This means you can deliberately install unshakable faith in your financial success by feeding your deeper mind the same empowering messages daily until they become accepted as fundamental facts about your reality. Behind the scenes of this faith-building process, your consciousness undergoes measurable changes that extend far beyond positive thinking or emotional improvement. As your conviction in your abundant future strengthens, your behavior naturally aligns with your upgraded self-concept, causing you to make different choices, notice different opportunities, and take different actions than someone operating from limitation consciousness. These behavioral shifts create a feedback loop where your external results begin to reflect your internal faith, which further strengthens your conviction and accelerates the manifestation process. The precision of this approach requires understanding that faith operates through specific mechanisms rather than random inspiration. Your conviction grows stronger when you consistently visualize your success while feeling genuine emotions of gratitude, excitement, and certainty. The combination of mental imagery and authentic emotion creates powerful imprints in your subconscious that gradually overwrite old patterns of doubt and replace them with new patterns of expectation and confidence. This systematic development of faith creates what could be called momentum consciousness, a state where your belief in positive outcomes becomes so strong that external circumstances lose their power to shake your confidence in your ability to create abundance. You learn to maintain your vision regardless of temporary setbacks or challenges, understanding that these apparent obstacles are simply part of the natural process through which invisible dreams become visible realities. The mastery of this process transforms faith from something you hope to possess into something you actively construct through deliberate mental practices that build conviction, the same way physical exercise builds strength, through consistent engagement with progressively greater challenges that expand your capacity for unwavering belief. Now, let me reveal the specific emotional cultivation techniques that accelerate faith development and explain why understanding the relationship between feeling states and manifestation speed can help you create breakthrough results while maintaining the patience necessary for sustainable transformation. Write in the comments, "I am building my faith daily," if you're ready to approach conviction as a skill that can be systematically developed rather than a gift that some people possess and others lack. The profound realization that revolutionizes your entire approach to communication lies in understanding that every single word emerging from your lips functions as a direct command to the most sophisticated programming system ever created, your own subconscious mind. Most people treat their speech as casual social interaction or random expression of temporary thoughts, completely unaware that they're continuously issuing precise instructions that shape their future experiences through the invisible but incredibly powerful mechanism of verbal programming. Your Words operate as seeds of destiny because they carry specific vibrational frequencies that penetrate deep into your subconscious awareness, where they take root and begin growing into corresponding life experiences. When you consistently speak about financial struggle, limitation, or impossibility, you're essentially planting and watering seeds that will inevitably produce crops of scarcity and restriction. Conversely, when you deliberately choose words that reflect abundance, possibility, and success, you're cultivating the mental soil from which prosperity naturally emerges. This understanding transforms everyday conversation from meaningless chatter into conscious reality creation because you begin recognizing that your subconscious mind doesn't possess a sense of humor or the ability to distinguish between serious declarations and casual complaints. It simply receives whatever verbal input you provide most consistently and treats these repeated patterns as fundamental truths about your identity and expectations for the future. The transformation accelerates when you realize that your current circumstances represent the harvested results of seeds you planted through past verbal patterns, often without conscious awareness of their creative power. The financial challenges you might be experiencing today likely reflect years of unconsciously affirming limitation through phrases like, "I can't afford it," "money is tight," or "I'm always broke." These weren't just expressions of temporary conditions. They were powerful programming statements that instructed your subconscious to create and maintain experiences that confirmed these declared realities. Behind the scenes of this verbal programming process lies a crucial distinction that separates effective manifestation from ineffective repetition. Simply speaking positive words without genuine emotional investment operates like throwing seeds randomly into the air. They might land somewhere, but lack the proper conditions for germination and growth. However, when you infuse your words with authentic conviction, passion, and emotional intensity, you create the energetic equivalent of planting seeds in fertile, well-prepared soil where they can take deep root and flourish. The emotional component behind your words serves as the activating force that transforms mere sound vibrations into reality-shaping commands. Your subconscious mind responds primarily to the feeling states you generate while speaking, rather than just the literal meaning of your words. This explains why someone can repeat abundance affirmations for months without experiencing meaningful change if they're speaking without genuine emotional engagement, or while harboring underlying doubts about their effectiveness. The journey toward mastery requires developing what could be called conscious communication, the deliberate choice to speak only words that support and reinforce your desired reality rather than your current circumstances. This doesn't mean denying challenges or pretending problems don't exist, but rather choosing language patterns that focus on solutions, possibilities, and empowering interpretations of whatever situations you might be facing. Every conversation becomes an opportunity to strengthen your abundance programming when you understand that your subconscious is constantly listening and recording whatever verbal patterns you consistently reinforce. Instead of participating in complaint, sessions about economic difficulties, or joining conversations that focus on limitation and struggle, you can choose to speak words that redirect attention toward opportunity, growth, and unlimited potential. The precision of this approach requires understanding that your words create energetic momentum in specific directions based on their emotional charge and repetitive use. Phrases spoken with genuine excitement and conviction generate forward momentum toward manifestation, while words spoken with doubt, fear, or resignation create resistance that blocks the natural flow of abundance into your experience. This verbal alchemy represents one of the most practical and immediately applicable aspects of consciousness-based wealth creation, because you have complete control over what words you choose to speak and how you choose to emotionally charge them with meaning and power. Now, Let me share the specific linguistic patterns that accelerate abundance programming and reveal why. Understanding the relationship between language and subconscious belief formation can help you reprogram decades of limitation thinking through strategic word choice and emotional engagement. Write in the comments, "My words create my wealth," if you're ready to take complete responsibility for the verbal seeds you're planting in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. The critical breakthrough that separates those who successfully reprogram their financial reality from those who remain trapped in limitation lies in understanding a fundamental quirk of how your subconscious mind processes temporal information. Your deeper mind operates exclusively in the eternal present moment. It cannot comprehend future tense or past tense in the same way your analytical mind does. When you speak about wealth using future-oriented language like "I'm going to be rich" or "I will have abundance," your subconscious interprets these statements as confirmations that wealth exists somewhere other than in your current reality. This temporal confusion creates a perpetual delay loop where your desired outcomes remain forever suspended in a hypothetical future that never quite arrives in your present experience. Your subconscious mind, operating with absolute literal precision, continues creating circumstances that match your verbal programming. Circumstances where wealth is always something you're going to have rather than something you currently possess. The transformation happens when you shift your language patterns to reflect ownership and presence rather than hope and futurity. Speaking in present tense about your abundant reality requires more than simply changing grammatical structures. It demands that you generate authentic emotional resonance with statements that might initially feel disconnected from your current circumstances. When you declare, "I am wealthy," or "money flows to me naturally," you must infuse these words with the same emotional conviction you would feel if describing something you genuinely possessed. This emotional authenticity serves as the bridge between your current experience and your declared reality. The journey toward mastery involves understanding that this present tense programming works because your subconscious mind prioritizes emotional truth over factual accuracy. When you speak abundance affirmations with genuine feeling and consistent repetition, your deeper mind begins accepting these statements as descriptions of your authentic identity rather than goals you hope to achieve. This identity shift triggers automatic behavioral changes that align your daily actions with someone who naturally creates and attracts wealth. Behind the scenes of this linguistic programming lies an even more profound understanding about the relationship between imagination and manifestation that governs all wealth creation throughout human civilization. Every fortune, every business empire, every financial breakthrough in history originated not in banks or boardrooms, but in the invisible realm of human imagination, where possibilities first take shape before crystallizing into physical form. This principle reveals why some people can start with nothing and build extraordinary wealth, while others struggle despite having significant resources and advantages. The difference lies not in external circumstances, but in the clarity and intensity with which they can imagine and emotionally experience their prosperous future before any evidence appears in their current reality. Their imagination functions as the original blueprint from which all subsequent manifestation flows. The transformation accelerates when you recognize that your imagination possesses creative power that operates independently of your current financial situation. You don't need permission from your bank account to vividly imagine abundance, and you don't need external validation to emotionally experience the feelings of prosperity. Your imagination creates its own reality within your consciousness, and when this internal reality becomes sufficiently vivid and emotionally charged, it begins exerting gravitational pull on external circumstances. This process requires developing what could be called prophetic imagination, the ability to see and feel your abundant future with such crystal clarity that it becomes more real to you than your temporary present circumstances. When your mental imagery reaches this level of intensity and emotional engagement, you cross a threshold where manifestation shifts from possibility to inevitability, because your entire consciousness becomes aligned with abundance as your natural state. The precision of this approach demands understanding that imagination without emotional intensity remains ineffective fantasy, while imagination combined with genuine feeling becomes the most powerful reality creation technology available to human consciousness. Every detail you add to your prosperity, visualizations, every emotion you authentically generate while imagining your success, every moment you spend mentally rehearsing abundance, strengthens the blueprint from which your external reality takes shape. This imaginative blueprinting process works because your mind cannot distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and actual memories when both are infused with sufficient emotional charge and sensory detail. By repeatedly experiencing prosperity through imagination, you literally program your neural networks to expect abundance as normal rather than exceptional. Now, let me reveal the advanced visualization techniques that accelerate this imagination to manifestation process and explain why understanding the specific mechanics of how mental imagery influences physical reality can help you achieve breakthrough results while maintaining the emotional authenticity necessary for sustainable transformation. Write in the comments, "I imagine my wealth into being," if you're ready to harness your imagination as the primary creative force in your financial transformation journey. The establishment of daily mental rituals represents the bridge between understanding these principles intellectually and implementing them with the consistency required for genuine transformation. Most people approach wealth creation through sporadic bursts of motivation or occasional visualization sessions. But lasting change requires the development of sacred daily practices that gradually reprogram your subconscious mind through systematic repetition and emotional engagement. The morning ritual becomes particularly powerful because you're capturing your consciousness during the transition from sleep to waking awareness, when your analytical mind hasn't yet reasserted its dominance over your mental processes. During these precious 5 minutes each morning, your subconscious remains highly receptive to new programming, while your critical thinking faculties are still dormant. This creates an ideal window for installing abundant imagery directly into your deeper mind, without resistance from doubt or limiting beliefs. The evening practice harnesses an equally important transitional state as your consciousness shifts from waking awareness toward sleep. This hypnagogic threshold represents direct access to your subconscious programming system because your brain waves naturally slow down and your mental barriers dissolve. The abundant images and feelings you cultivate during this evening ritual become the last information your subconscious processes before entering the regenerative state of sleep, allowing these prosperity patterns to integrate deeply throughout the night. These transitional states are neurologically significant because your brain operates in alpha and theta frequencies during the moments between waking and sleeping, creating optimal conditions for subconscious reprogramming. Scientists have discovered that these specific brainwave states dramatically increase your mind's receptivity to new information while reducing the skeptical filtering that normally prevents belief changes from occurring. The transformation deepens when you understand that these daily rituals function as destiny reprogramming sessions, where you deliberately choose what thoughts and images receive the power of repetition in your mental environment. Instead of allowing random worries or inherited limitations to dominate your subconscious through unconscious repetition, you consciously select empowering thoughts and feed them with the emotional intensity required to override old patterns and install new operating instructions. This process operates through the fundamental principle that your subconscious mind accepts whatever thoughts you repeat with sufficient conviction and emotional charge as absolute truth about your identity and capabilities. Every morning and evening ritual session represents an opportunity to strengthen neural pathways associated with abundance while simultaneously weakening the old circuits connected to limitation and struggle. Behind the scenes of this daily programming practice lies the profound understanding that autosuggestion functions as a precision technology for destiny modification. Your repeated thoughts don't just influence your mood or motivation, they literally reshape the neural architecture of your brain, creating new patterns of perception and behavior that automatically guide you towards circumstances that match your upgraded mental programming. The journey toward mastery requires recognizing that conviction serves as the activating ingredient that transforms casual positive thinking into powerful reality-shaping force. When you speak abundance affirmations with genuine emotional investment and unwavering certainty, you're not just hoping for better circumstances, you're issuing direct commands to the most sophisticated goal-achieving mechanism ever created, your own subconscious mind. This deliberate auto-suggestion practice works because your deeper mind cannot distinguish between powerfully imagined experiences and actual memories when both are charged with sufficient emotional intensity. By consistently feeding your subconscious detailed visions of prosperity, accompanied by authentic feelings of success, you create new memory patterns that your mind treats as confirmed realities requiring maintenance and expansion through your daily decisions and actions. The precision of this approach transforms personal development from wishful thinking into systematic consciousness engineering, where you deliberately choose what beliefs and expectations will govern your future experiences. Each ritual session strengthens your capacity to maintain abundance consciousness regardless of temporary external circumstances, gradually building the mental momentum necessary for breakthrough manifestation. The cumulative effect of these daily programming sessions creates what could be called inevitability consciousness, a state where your belief in your prosperous future becomes so unshakable that external obstacles lose their power to discourage or derail your progress toward wealth. Now, let me share the specific auto-suggestion formulas that accelerate this reprogramming process and reveal why understanding the relationship between repetition cycles and belief formation can help you achieve permanent mindset shifts in the shortest possible time frame. Write in the comments, "I program my mind daily," if you're ready to commit to the consistent practice that transforms knowledge into wisdom and possibilities into realities. The understanding that revolutionizes your entire approach to wealth creation lies in recognizing that what you call reality is actually a vast field of vibrational energy expressing itself in countless forms, with money and opportunities representing specific frequencies within this infinite spectrum of possibility. When you truly grasp that everything you can perceive, from the device you're using to watch this to the most complex financial systems governing global commerce, consists of energy vibrating at different rates, you begin to understand why your thoughts possess such extraordinary creative power. Your consciousness operates as both a transmitter and receiver within this vibrational universe, constantly broadcasting specific frequency patterns through your dominant thoughts and emotions, while simultaneously attracting experiences that match these transmitted signals. When you focus your mental attention on abundance, prosperity, and unlimited possibility, you're not just engaging in positive thinking, you're literally sending reorganization instructions to the energy field that underlies all physical manifestation. This transmission process works because the universe operates as an intelligent, responsive system that automatically rearranges itself to reflect whatever vibrational patterns you consistently emit through your consciousness. Just as tuning forks cause other objects to resonate at matching frequencies, your sustained thoughts about abundance create resonance patterns that draw corresponding experiences into your reality through the fundamental law of vibrational attraction. The breakthrough happens when you realize that you don't need to understand the exact mechanisms through which this vibrational reorganization occurs. You simply need to maintain consistent focus on the frequencies you want to experience while releasing attachment to how the manifestation unfolds. The universe possesses infinite intelligence and creative capacity that far exceeds your analytical mind's ability to orchestrate specific outcomes through strategic planning or forceful action. Behind the scenes of this vibrational creation process operates an even more profound principle that governs all manifestation: the law of correspondence, which reveals that your external world functions as an exact mirror, reflecting the predominant patterns active within your inner world. This isn't metaphorical symbolism, but rather a precise description of how consciousness creates experience through the mechanism of energetic reflection. Your financial circumstances, relationship dynamics, health conditions, and overall life experiences represent perfect reflections of the beliefs, emotions, and mental patterns that dominate your inner landscape. When your interior consciousness is aligned with abundance, gratitude, and unlimited possibility, your exterior world automatically begins reorganizing itself to match these elevated internal frequencies through the natural operation of this correspondence principle. This mirror-like relationship between inner and outer worlds explains why external strategies for wealth creation often produce temporary results that eventually revert to previous patterns unless accompanied by genuine internal transformation. You cannot maintain external abundance while harboring internal scarcity consciousness any more than you can see a beautiful reflection in a mirror while standing in an ugly room. The transformation accelerates when you understand that changing your outer world requires changing your inner world first, which means dedicating primary attention to cultivating abundance consciousness rather than focusing on manipulating external circumstances. This represents a complete reversal of how most people approach financial improvement, as they typically try to change results without addressing the internal causes that created those results. The precision of this approach demands recognizing that your inner world consists not just of your conscious thoughts but also of your subconscious beliefs, emotional patterns, and energetic vibrations that operate below the threshold of normal awareness. True transformation requires aligning all levels of your consciousness with abundance rather than simply thinking positive thoughts while maintaining deeper patterns of limitation and fear. This alignment process works through the gradual cultivation of what could be called vibrational integrity, a state where your conscious desires, subconscious beliefs, emotional patterns, and energetic emanations all resonate at the same frequency of abundance and possibility. When this internal coherence is achieved, external manifestation becomes effortless because your entire being broadcasts a consistent signal that the universe can easily match through corresponding experiences. The journey toward this vibrational integrity requires patient, consistent work on all levels of your consciousness, gradually releasing old patterns that no longer serve your abundance goals, while strengthening new patterns that support your elevated vision of what's possible for your financial future. Now let me share the specific techniques for achieving this internal alignment and explain why understanding the relationship between different levels of consciousness can help you identify and resolve the hidden blocks that might be sabotaging your manifestation efforts despite your best conscious intentions. Write in the comments, "My inner world creates my outer wealth," If you're beginning to understand how this mirror principle operates in your own experience and are ready to take responsibility for aligning your internal frequency with your desired external results. The journey toward true mastery of wealth creation leads you to discover something that might initially seem counterintuitive, that the greatest manifestation power emerges not from intense mental effort or constant visualization, but from the profound depths of inner silence, where your consciousness can finally connect with the pure source of all abundance. Most people live in a state of perpetual mental noise, with their minds constantly chattering about problems, analyzing circumstances, or replaying past experiences, never realizing that this internal commotion actually blocks their access to the infinite creative intelligence that governs all manifestation. This inner silence represents far more than simply quieting your thoughts. It's about accessing a sacred space within your consciousness where the artificial boundaries between desire and fulfillment dissolve, where the separation between dreamer and dream disappears, and where you can tap directly into the vibrational frequency of abundance itself. When you learn to cultivate this profound stillness, you discover that wealth creation becomes effortless, because you're no longer trying to force outcomes through mental strain or emotional desperation. The transformation happens when you realize that external noise, whether from media, other people's opinions, or environmental distractions, serves as a surface-level interference compared to the internal voices of doubt, fear, and limitation that create the real barriers to manifestation. These inner voices operate like static that disrupts your connection to the pure abundance frequency, constantly broadcasting messages of scarcity, unworthiness, and impossibility that override your conscious intentions to create wealth. Behind the scenes of this silence-based approach to manifestation lies an understanding that most people never discover, that there exists an invisible law governing all wealth creation that operates independently of economic systems, market conditions, or external circumstances. This law functions as the underlying principle that sustains and multiplies abundance throughout the universe, but it remains hidden because accessing it requires a fundamental shift in how you understand the nature of wealth itself. The revelation that changes everything is recognizing that true abundance doesn't reside in money, objects, or external possessions. These are merely the physical expressions of something far more fundamental. Real wealth exists as pure energy and consciousness, as vibrational patterns and creative intelligence that organize themselves into material form when aligned with properly through inner silence and elevated awareness. This invisible law operates through the principle that consciousness creates energy, energy creates vibration, and vibration creates form. When you access the silence within your being, you connect directly with the consciousness level where all creation originates, bypassing the mental and emotional layers where most people get trapped in limitation patterns. From this silent space, you can literally command abundance into existence through pure intention rather than struggling to manipulate circumstances through effort and strategy. The journey toward mastering this invisible law requires understanding that wealth multiplication occurs automatically when your consciousness aligns with the frequency of infinite possibility rather than finite resources. In the profound depths of inner silence, you discover that abundance isn't something you need to create or attract. It's something you need to allow by removing the mental and emotional barriers that block its natural flow into your experience. This process works because silence eliminates the resistance that typically prevents manifestation from occurring smoothly. When your mind is chattering with worries, doubts, and limitations, you're essentially broadcasting mixed signals that confuse the manifestation process and create inconsistent results. However, when you operate from genuine inner stillness, your consciousness becomes a clear, powerful transmitter that sends focused intentions directly to the creative intelligence of the universe. The precision of this approach transforms wealth creation from a struggle-based endeavor into a silence-based practice, where you learn to receive abundance from the infinite source rather than trying to manufacture it through personal effort. This doesn't mean becoming passive or lazy. It means aligning your actions with the natural flow of creative intelligence rather than working against universal principles through force and desperation. The mastery emerges when you develop the ability to maintain connection with this inner silence even while engaging in practical wealth-building activities, essentially becoming a bridge between the infinite realm of pure possibility and the finite world of specific manifestation. Now let me reveal the specific meditation techniques that allow you to access this profound silence consistently, and explain why understanding the relationship between stillness and creative power can dramatically accelerate your ability to command abundance from the deepest levels of consciousness. Write in the comments, "I embrace the power of silence," if you're ready to discover how stillness becomes your greatest tool for wealth manifestation. The ultimate revelation that crowns this entire journey of financial transformation lies in understanding that your mind operates as the fundamental source of all creation, not just in your personal experience, but throughout the entire fabric of existence itself. Creative thinking transcends casual daydreaming or wishful imagination because it functions as an active force that literally molds reality through the precise application of focused consciousness toward specific outcomes that haven't yet manifested in physical form. When you learn to direct your mind toward conscious creation rather than allowing it to wander randomly through fears and limitations, you begin activating what could be called the conversion sequence, the systematic transformation of invisible ideas into visible projects, projects into purposeful actions, and actions into tangible results that reshape your financial reality from the inside out. This process operates through the understanding that everything begins as pure thought before crystallizing into increasingly dense forms of manifestation. The mastery emerges when you recognize that creative thinking requires the same precision and intentionality that any skilled craftsperson brings to their work. Just as a sculptor doesn't randomly attack stone, but carefully chips away everything that doesn't belong to reveal the masterpiece hidden within, conscious creation involves systematically removing mental obstacles while strengthening thoughts that support your abundant vision until reality has no choice but to conform to your elevated consciousness. Behind the scenes of this creative process lies perhaps the most transformative understanding in all of human development, the recognition that your mind possesses alchemical capabilities that allow you to transmute any challenge, obstacle, or apparent setback into raw material for growth and abundance creation. This mental alchemy represents the ultimate forbidden knowledge because it grants you absolute sovereignty over your experience, regardless of external circumstances or inherited limitations. The transformation happens when you understand that mental alchemy isn't mystical magic, but rather a conscious, systematic process for reinterpreting difficulties through the lens of opportunity and growth, rather than through the lens of victimhood and limitation. Every obstacle you encounter contains hidden gifts that can accelerate your journey toward wealth when you possess the alchemical awareness to extract value from challenges instead of being defeated by them. This alchemical mindset operates through the fundamental principle that reality is neutral. Circumstances themselves carry no inherent meaning until you assign significance through your interpretation. The same financial setback that destroys one person's confidence becomes the catalyst that inspires another person's breakthrough innovation. The difference lies not in the external event, but in the internal alchemy that transforms raw experience into wisdom, strength, and opportunity. The journey toward mastering this mental alchemy requires developing what could be called transmutation consciousness, the ability to see beyond surface appearances and recognize the hidden potential within every challenge you face. When you cultivate this perspective, obstacles lose their power to discourage or derail your progress because you understand that they're actually disguised opportunities for developing greater resilience, creativity, and determination. This alchemical process works because every difficulty forces you to expand beyond your current level of thinking and develop new capabilities that wouldn't have emerged without the pressure of challenge. Financial struggles can become the catalyst for developing innovative income streams. Business failures can provide invaluable lessons that ensure future success. Economic uncertainty can inspire the creative problem-solving that leads to breakthrough prosperity. The precision of this approach transforms your entire relationship with adversity from something to be avoided into something to be embraced as essential training for higher levels of success. You begin seeking challenges rather than comfort, because you understand that growth occurs at the edges of your current capabilities rather than within your existing comfort zones. The ultimate goal of this mental alchemy involves developing such mastery over your internal state that external circumstances lose their power to determine your emotional or financial destiny. You become like an alchemist who can transform any base metal into gold through the application of precise knowledge and unwavering faith in the transformation process. If you've stayed with me through this entire journey of forbidden knowledge, you're clearly someone who understands that true wealth creation begins in the mind, not in the marketplace. What you've absorbed today isn't just information, it's a complete blueprint for activating the creative forces that have been dormant within your consciousness, waiting for someone brave enough to awaken them. The fact that you're still here tells me something important about your commitment to transformation. Most people would have clicked away after the first few minutes, but you recognize the value in these ancient principles that bridge consciousness and creation. This tells me you're ready for the next level of understanding, which is exactly why I create content like this. If this resonated with you and you want to continue exploring these powerful mental technologies for wealth creation, subscribing to this channel ensures you'll never miss the deeper insights I share about consciousness, manifestation, and the hidden principles that govern abundance. Each video builds upon the last, creating a comprehensive education in the art of reality creation that you simply won't find anywhere else. Leave a comment saying, "This message was meant for me," if you made it all the way to the end. I love connecting with people who are serious about applying these principles rather than just consuming information passively. Your engagement helps me understand that this content is reaching the right audience and making a real difference in people's lives. And if this journey through forbidden knowledge created that spark of recognition you feel when truth resonates with your deeper knowing, a like on this video helps ensure these insights reach others who are ready for this level of understanding. There's a video right here that takes these concepts even deeper, revealing the specific daily practices that transform occasional inspiration into consistent manifestation. Click and continue with me over there, because the knowledge you've gained today is just the foundation for what's possible when you truly master the alchemy of consciousness and wealth creation.